Dolores, the pastor's daughter, your favorite late night writer. Okay, I'm the night writer. Okay. So hey y'all, what's going on? Y'all get on in here. Let's get to writing, honey. Okay. As usual, y'all know we're doing 50 minutes of focused work. And so that's writing, that is journaling, recording, doing voice recordings, videos, whatever you want to do. Right now, we're doing 50 minutes of focused work, 10 minutes of a movement. Let me go ahead and start my vibration plate while I'm talking to y'all. And then I'll just kind of give you guys just like a little update on what's been going on, what I'm working on. Again, in the chat, you guys, let me know what you're working on. What are you creating? Are you writing a book? Are you writing nonfiction, fiction? Are you writing poetry? Are you working on your memoir? Child, what are you working on? Let me know. So I am working on the Daddy Issue series and Daughters of Discernment. So if you guys have been following me on the socials, then you know I started a series called Daddy Issues. And I started that series. When did I start that series? It was after Christmas, before New Year's, right? So I don't even know how many videos I ended up dropping on that series, but that series is not over. What I did was, took a little step back to regroup and kind of figure out, if I was good with the direction that the Daddy Issue series was going in. And I was good with it, but not good with it, if that makes sense. I felt like it needed a little bit more focus, a little more intention, and a little bit better of a plan, a follow-on plan. And not that I didn't have that, but I just wanted it to be tighter, a bit cleaner, and just so I could be a bit more sure of the plan. Okay. Oh, child. For a second there, I was like, wait a minute, did I make sure I took it off mute? Okay, so as a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and make sure y'all can hear me good too. Let me go ahead and do my little check. Okay. All right, we're good. Make sure y'all go ahead and like the video as you come in or as you leave, whichever one works best for you. Just do it right now, child. Okay, as soon as you get on in here, just go ahead and like the video. Because y'all already know how we get down. We're going to get done what we need to get done. I'm your accountability partner. I want you to hold me accountable. I want to hold you accountable so that we're making sure that we're moving forward in our goals of getting our book out. Do you have a goal of getting your book out this year? Do you want to get it started? Do you want to just get it finished? And that's your goal for the year. Like, hey, I want to go ahead and start this, go ahead and get it, get it to a point where when it's ready for, editors or whatever, a professional to look at it. Like, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you just journaling your thoughts? Because this is the Tell Your Truth Daughter live writing sessions. And so, what truth are you telling? So you could put that in the chat, or you could let me know privately. You could send me a DM and let me know, hey, this is what I've been working on, this is what I am telling the truth about. And these are, this is what that session is. Now, what I don't want it to be is where we trauma dump, where we, where it's like therapy or we're counseling, and then, we're just sharing stories about all the trauma that we've experienced. That's not what this is about. Although you'll be doing some of that, right? Like, you'll be telling about your trauma, you'll be telling about your experiences, as you're writing and stuff like that. But I want you to be moving forward in your healing journey. And sometimes we can get a little caught up in the whole, like, I just need to, like, dump it, and there's a time and a place for that, but what I'm saying is dump it on paper. Okay, like, dump it somewhere where there is a record, there is a plan to move forward with it, right? Whether you're just using it as your own account of what happened, because, hey, I need to write this down just so I keep myself sane, just so I remember what has happened to me, just in case I need to go back and refer back, just in case I forget, because sometimes, we forget what we've been through. And then we, are a little bit destined to repeat that thing, So sometimes you just need to document, hey, this is what happened, this is how I felt, so you can go back and refer to that if need be. But then, there are some cases where we want our writing to actually get out into the world. But the first part of that process is just to tell the truth. Like, tell the truth about what happened, but tell it in a way that moves you forward. So put that thing on paper, put it on paper, start to, like, actually move forward with intention. Okay, so that is what we are going to be doing, child. So tonight, I let me see. The only real writing prompt I have for you, I guess I would say, is don't filter yourself tonight, right? Just write, okay? No filters, no editing, no second guessing, no trying to clean it up. No, don't do any of that, okay? Just go ahead and just dump on paper. Dump, where it can actually move you forward with intention, okay? So dump on the paper. It don't need to be pretty. The grammar doesn't need to be good. The punctuations don't need to be where they need to be. Just dump it, okay? And if you need to actually speak it, go ahead and speak it into a recording application. I personally recommend Otter AI. That's OTTER AI. That's a recording app that transcribes in real time. You can use it in meetings, in Zoom. It interfaces very well with other applications where you may need to, record and transcribe what is taking place, and not for any type of malicious or intent or anything like that, but just because you need to keep good notes. I mean, we don't really have the capacity to remember every little detail, every little thing now, okay? So sometimes these recording apps, use the tools that are available to you, but use them in a way that is pure and that is right, and then those things don't turn dirty and toxic, right? It's people that turn these things toxic. So get you a good old recording app, child, okay? And record yourself telling your story. Just talk. Just talk like you're talking to me, okay? Like, just pretend. I'm going to mute out in a little bit. I'm going to talk for a few more minutes, probably till we get to 1:30. It's 1:30 where I am here in Alabama. So when we get to that half hour, then we'll go ahead and get started. Get our timer going. And so yeah, so just while we're doing our 50 minutes of focus work, just act like you're talking to me, and I'm gonna be over here doing my work at the computer. Y'all know how I do. But just act like you're talking to me. Talk right into your recording app, and then just let it flow. Just dump it all out, okay? This is not a therapy session. This is just you unloading, okay? But unload it in a way, child. Because I can't, listen, y'all, I can't carry your weight, okay? I already got enough weight of my own to carry. I already got my own daddy issues. I can't carry everybody else's daddy issues, okay? So, and I'm writing about mine. You guys know. Hold on, child. Let me get it for you. Let me show you, child. Y'all know I wrote this book, The Pastor's Daughter Provoked. And actually, I'm maybe gonna pull it up on the screen, but you guys got the point. This is an author copy. That's why it says not for resale. But yeah, so this is my book here, The Pastor's Daughter Provoked. It's like I trauma dumped, but I trauma dumped in a book, okay, child? So that's what I recommend you do. And this book has been so powerful in my healing journey, and really, giving me confidence and like moving forward in, in my healing, child, and really just moving forward in life. There were a lot of things that happened, and this book was based on a conversation that I had with my father that, guess what, I recorded and transcribed in my Otter app. Okay, the very app that I'm telling y'all about, that's what I used to transcribe, and that's how I was able to write this book. I transcribed the words that that my father said to me, and then even when I was writing the book, I even recorded my thoughts, how I felt in the moment, like, listen, sometimes when you're writing something, you don't write it like you would say it, right? So sometimes it's easier to get it all out if you say it, if you actually speak it, right? But sometimes you don't want to speak it to other people. You just need to speak it into your recording app and just let it live there for a minute, okay? Like, just get it off of you, or get it out of you, put it in a recording, and then you never know, it may turn into an international bestseller, one day. Just you telling the truth, okay? So that's what these live writing sessions are about. We're gonna get started in a minute, but y'all go ahead and let me know in the chat. Hey y'all, hey everybody that's joining. If you end up joining later in the later on after this stream has already aired, Just let me know what you're working on. Let me know where you're calling from or where you're tuning in from. Not calling from, y'all. What show I think I'm on? Like I gotta call it, y'all. Where you calling from? Call like, girl. You know what? That might be a little foreshadowing. Who knows? Okay. But anyways, so tell me where y'all tuning in from. Tell me where you are in the world. Where are you writing? I realized earlier when I was, doing my thing, taking a shower and and all that stuff. I realized, like, girl, it's late to you, right? Like I call myself like this little late night writer, but it's morning time to somebody who is tuned in to this live writing session right now. So I don't need to trip too bad, right? Because for somebody, this is like the perfect time. Sometimes people get downloads, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like there's people who, are very divinely connected and they start, having spiritual downloads, divine downloads, whatever. Their creative juices start to flow. They start to think of like, just great ideas and stuff like that. Sometimes that happens for people super late at night or super early in the morning. So, I mean, am I wrong by these late night writers? No, I'm not, child. Okay, I'm right on time for somebody. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and switch over to the timer screen here. Okay. And then y'all make sure y'all like the video. Go ahead and share the video. Get everything ready that you need. I got a snack. I've got my water. That's got my I've got a little flavor pack in there, and then I've got some aloe glow in there, which is a wonderful, wonderful product that I'm going to be sharing with you all really, really soon that you can get your hands on too. So let me go ahead and get started. It's like 2 minutes till, but we ain't worried about that, y'all. Let's go ahead. I'm ready to write. Are y'all ready to write? Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all, okay? Now, let me go ahead and turn on this music. We're going to do some more lo-fi tonight, because that gave us a good flow. Yesterday, I turned the tick down because I realized that ticker was loud. I was like, oh, my God. Why is it so loud? Yeah, it's loud. Let me go ahead and turn this down right now. Because I know y'all want to hear the ticks. Because the ticks are good, right? Like, it gives you a little bit of white noise. But you don't want them to be, like, super loud. So I was like, oh, my God. Okay. All right, y'all. Here we go. I'm muting out. Let's get to writing. Y'all, I low-key felt like when I started that last little session. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Am I muted? Y'all can hear me, right? I feel like when I started that last session, y'all, I was kind of all over the place when I first started. And then it got a little bit better, a little more focused as we went on. So, sure. Okay. All right, I want to make sure y'all can hear me good. Okay, let me sound my vibration plate. Okay, y'all. So, if you're just tuning in and you don't know how we work over here, child, we do 50 minutes of focused writing. We don't talk. We don't do anything. We don't interact with each other. We focus, right? So that's what you saw me doing for the last 50 minutes with the ticker going. Then for 10 minutes, we do some type of movement, okay? I've been choosing here lately to get on my vibration plate because this vibration plate is giving me life, you guys, okay? Like, but if y'all notice, when I got up from my seat, I was limping a little bit, okay? So I've got some gel here that I've been using for the past like month and a half or so. Hold on, let me. Come on, light. Is that better? There we go. Y'all, this is paprika and chili balsam massage gel, okay? Do y'all hear me? Hear me. So I'm about to put some of this on my hip because my hip has been hurting. And like, just a little pro tip here. This is how I get through my line dancing, child, okay? Because y'all know I line dance on Tuesdays. That's what I did yesterday before I came here and did our live writing session. I did line dance, and I actually teach it too. So this is how I get through, child, some of that pain, honey, okay? Some of the little soreness and stiffness. So I just put like about that much. You know, about that much. I'm just gonna rub this on my hip while I'm on the. I'm not gonna show y'all, child, because I got my pants down a little bit. I don't want y'all to see my goodies, honey. Okay. Y'all don't even see my goodies. But I'm just gonna put this on my hip and just rub it in, child. It works really, really good. Keeps me from like having to take a whole lot of pain medicine, you know, because I have fibromyalgia and I have lupus, and the fibromyalgia gives me more problems, y'all. The lupus right now is inactive, and I'm just trying to keep it that way, okay? We're just trying to keep it that way. We don't need it getting activated or nothing, child. So I keep my peace. You know what I'm saying? I stay in my space, and I do what I gotta do, child, to keep my health together and keep from getting too stressed and all of that stuff, which is, you know, a lot of the reason I'm doing what is partially the reason why I'm doing this daddy issues series, because I truly believe that a lot of the illnesses that I've dealt with in my adulthood especially, but you know, even in childhood, I think it was because of my daddy issues, because of trauma, you know, that I witnessed and that I experienced, you know. So, and this is the thing. I'm gonna put out a video. I've you know, went ahead and conceptualized this video that I'm gonna put out for y'all, explaining how that works. Because there's this book called "The Body Keeps the Score" by Lundy. I want to say his last name is Bancroft, but anyway, so y'all know what I'm talking about. Just look it up. The Body Keeps the Score is very, very popular book, and he talks about how, you know, like the trauma, the things that you have experienced will show up in your health. And you would think it wouldn't, right? You would think, okay, if something is showing up in my body, it might be something I put in my body, you know, or like environmental, you know, something that somehow enters the body, either through like something you breathed or something you ingested, or, you know, something like that, or something that got in your skin or something like that, right? But y'all, some of the things that we have witnessed and that we have been through, some of our experiences, like, they turn into illnesses, you know, if left unchecked, you know. And And I don't think that you can necessarily be cured of those things. Like once they show up, I don't know if you know there's a such thing as like, okay, now I'm cured because now I have decided to tackle my daddy issues, or you know, the father wound and all of that stuff, and handle all the stuff that I went through in my childhood. I don't think that really happens, but I do believe that you can ease up a lot of your symptoms, and that is what happened to me. Like, it happened, so I know it can. And it's not saying that what I experienced was in my head, or that I somehow caused it, so that it's somehow my fault, or that even if it doesn't happen for you, then that means that, you know, you don't have the control, or, you know, it's nothing about you. But there is a way that this awareness of it, actively, you know, working your healing and stuff like that, like, it can ease your symptoms. Like, it can ease the pain, you know. And you know, I know I'm trying to weigh my words, because I know I have to be really sensitive about how I say it, because I don't want it to sound like that I'm blaming anybody, or, you know, like I'm blaming you. Like, if you're going through a lot of illnesses and stuff, and I'm saying, well, your illnesses are in your head, or you can somehow get over them by getting over your daddy issues. No, that's not how that works. But you can't ease up, you know, like you can be, you know, your pain can be eased, your you know, it gets a little bit easier to handle some of the highs and the lows, and the, you know, and the pits and all that stuff that you can find yourself in because of, let's say, like complex PTSD, which is what I've been diagnosed with it. And I know that, you know, putting different things in place, boundaries, you know, first of all, even acknowledging the fact that I have daddy issue, I have a father wound, I have things that have happened in my childhood, and the dynamic between my father and I that affect my health to this day. And I would probably not even believe what I'm saying myself if it didn't happen to me, right? And if my health did not improve when I left my father's church and when I cut him off. Now, if that wasn't the case, then I wouldn't be able to tell this story, right? Because then I would I know? How would I know? You know? But I know because I experienced it myself. Because when I cut contact and I started really doing the work, my pain eased up, y'all. It did. No, I'm not cured. I still have what I have. I still have chronic fatigue. I still have pain in my body that, you know, that's kind of like all over, you know, sometimes, you know, in weird places. And, you know, I still have sleep problems, and I still have depression, and I still have anxiety, and I still have those things, right? But they have eased up since instituting the same things that I'm telling you about, the same things that I'm writing about. And I know for a fact that even just putting what has happened to you out of you and onto paper, or into some type of recording, some type of, you know, way of capturing it and keeping it, holding it right there where it is, on paper or in a recording or whatever, that is like one of the first steps. It's one of the first steps to, like, really working your healing, you know. It helps you build your discernment, because a lot of stuff that you probably experience, you probably think you crazy, you know. You probably thinking, hey, like, nobody's dealt with this, or you minimize it thinking, well, people have experienced way worse than this, so, you know, you somehow minimize your experience and what you've been through and what it did to your body and to your mind, right? But we fall into that trap of comparing our pain to other people's pain, then our pain is never going to be big enough, or it's never going to be small enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to, like, not quite measure up to some type of weird measurement, you know? If we take competition out of it, or comparison out of it, like, no, I'm not my pain is not in comparison to yours. My fibromyalgia is not in comparison to yours. My complex PTSD is not. I don't have to compare it to the next woman's or the next daughter's pain and what she's going through. I had my experience, and it did something to me, you know, and that's it. That's all. It did something to me. I'm, you know, aware of it, and I'm working my process. I'm doing what I need to do to have the life that I want to walk in my purpose, to be the woman that I want to be, you know, to not let that dictate everything. Like, it doesn't need to dictate every relationship I ever, enter into. It doesn't need to interfere with my work. It doesn't need to interfere with my finances. It doesn't need to be the driving force for everything that I do now. You know what I mean? Like, everything in my life is all, somehow it has some overtone of or undertone of daddy issues. Like, no ma'am. No, absolutely not. My daddy issues and father wound, whatever you want to call it, it does not run the show. It will not run the show. But this is how you ensure that it doesn't, by telling the truth. Okay? Now, let's get back into it. Enough talking for now. All right, y'all. This is our second writing sprint. So, let's get going, y'all. How was that last session, y'all? Ooh, honey. Like, okay, I felt like I was focused, but I also felt like I was all over the place again. Like I was all in my chat GPT and I had it like kind of streamline some of the processes that I was doing. Um, that's one of the that's one of the things that chat GPT is like excellent for. So I had it map out a plan for me for like my content plan, how I wanted to execute it and all that stuff, like how I wanted to put it out, the schedule I wanted to put it out, all of that stuff. Like for me, I have to have a plan, okay? Because y'all, like this is the lab, okay? Like let's just call it what this is the lab right here, okay? So what ends up happening in the lab is a lot of things are created, okay? I am a beast at creating, okay? So like I can create my behind off, okay? But putting it out, now that's a that's a different story, okay? Um, so like y'all know how I am. It's late. The creative juices get to going. You know what I'm saying? And I get in like beast creator mode. You know, or creator beast mode, however you want to put it. Okay. So then I start like just creating like whatever my idea is. You know, I let it just flow into something like huge. You know, like I'll take an idea just from a concept. Like sometimes I think of like even like a like let's just say grace mode, right? Like how grace mode ended up turning into like something major, okay? You guys know we put the grace mode series on pause so that we could go ahead and address the daddy issues piece of it, right? But the way grace mode even came about is from a compliment really, that my husband gave me. He told me I was graceful, y'all. Y'all, first of all, hold on, sir. Okay, first of all, is that the compliment of all compliments? You know what I mean? You hear you're beautiful, you're pretty, you know, you're smart, talented. I mean, you hear that. Like, you can hear that, right? But, like, how often do you hear someone tell you that you're graceful? And then your husband on top of that, okay? Like, not only was the compliment itself major, but who it came from was even more major, okay? Because first of all, like, how many husbands consider their wife to be graceful? I mean, I'm not trying to step on no toes. I'm not saying that you need to get the same compliment I got. I'm just saying, you know, that was major for me, you know, and I thought about it on a lot of different levels. Like, wow, okay, first of all, I've never heard that, not never heard that, but just never heard that compliment before. Like, to just say, like, this is behavior that I've observed in you, not in, like, just in how you look, how you present yourself, how you handle things, how you handle conflict, how you interact with people, how you handle yourself, how you handle me, how you handle the children, you know, and your interaction with it. Like, it just, to me, it was like, whoa, like, this is a major compliment, you know, a major. So I turned that into something. I started like really thinking, you know, and I didn't I when he first gave me the compliment, I didn't think of it like I'm thinking of it now, you know, like how major it was. Like it was major, but not as major as I'm thinking about it right now. Like the majorness of it all grew, you know, over the years, you know, as I really started to observe, you know, my behavior, other people, you know, and I started to like really see, like, dang, I think grace is, you know, or could be a missing component, you know, in how we even like approach each other, how we, and not just in how we approach each other like in our behavior, but even how we talk to each other about how our behavior should be, you know what I mean? Like how, you know, you see a lot of people on social media giving advice or, you know, best practices or, you know, this is how you should do it, or, you know, but how many people have you really seen talk about grace, being graceful, having a posture of grace, Like, no, not just that you're extending grace to someone in a moment, but also that that's just how you are, that is almost becomes part of your characteristics. You're a graceful woman, you know, and you just are. That just becomes part of your being. So it started to develop into something like super huge. Like at first it was just a wonderful compliment, like, wow, no one's ever, paid me a compliment like that, But then it grew, and then of course I started to observe my own behavior, because I was like, man, I really want to lean into this. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he paid me a compliment. I just felt like, oh yeah, I'm graceful, or and like I'm the example, or it was nothing like that. It was like, dang, like, wow, grace is it's a wonderful quality to have. It's a wonderful posture to have. It's a wonderful way of being. It's a wonderful way of interacting with people. It's a wonderful way of interacting with myself, like, and then I was just like, man, how could I be more graceful? You know what I mean? Like, how can I be more of that? Because like, you never hear anybody say, well, she was so graceful and that was a bad thing. Like, I don't see how that could ever be a bad thing, Maybe if it turns bad, then it's not grace. You know what I mean? It's not anymore. It's turned into something else. It's not grace. But grace in and of itself, and being graceful, how can that ever be a bad thing? So I was like, let me look into being more of this. I like this. And and so I just started, like, over the years, just developing more of that posture. Like, how can I embody grace? How can I be that way to, like, my friends? How could I be that way to my family? How could I be, that way to myself? How could I be that way in my community? How can I be that way with my car, with my home, with, you know what I mean? Like, you can be graceful with things that you use, things that are meant to be used, but you can still use them gracefully. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could totally have that posture with everything in life and it not ever be a bad thing. So yeah, it turned into something like major. And so I put together this whole movement on grace, being graceful, approaching things gracefully, having a posture of being in grace mode, so like it has turned into a whole thing, but I just haven't put it all out yet, like I have all of this. I've created it all. I've created a journal. I mean, I've created the whole thing. I've created courses, like because I've been doing the work myself, observing my own behavior, cultivating a more graceful life, and being more of that, and so then I started to, like, hey, maybe I can, talk to the girls. Let's talk to the girls, the other daughters, about that, about grace. And so it just turned into this whole big thing. And then and I created the whole ecosystem, the whole movement around it, and then I just have to, like, tell y'all about it. That's the part that ends up getting me every time, like, I have it, I created it, but, like, what good is it if I'm not sharing it with y'all, So that's why I asked my chat GPT, like, help me come up with a plan to, like, release it all. And then sometimes I'll start releasing it, like I did, right? I started releasing grace mode, but then I realized once I started releasing it that, wait a minute, the girls aren't ready for this yet, because it's going to turn into something else. You know what I mean? Then that's when it's going to get into the toxic part, because I mean, anything can pretty much turn toxic, It's just, if your mind's not, if your spirit, your heart's not right, like, anything can turn toxic, But with that, I was just like, okay, the girls aren't ready yet for it to go into grace mode, because if you have not first, like, identified your daddy issues, you're not even ready to, like, say, hey, you know what, I got daddy issues. Or if you don't want to say daddy issues, you can say, hey, I have a father wound, because that's really what it is. It's just that, I'm just taking this colloquial term that, has been used against us, really, for I don't even know how long. I was accused of having daddy issues myself, and I was just like, I can't deny that. Even though I wanted to, at the time, this was many years ago, I wanted to deny that I had daddy issues, because it just don't sound good, And then I wanted to be, you know, the type of person that was just like, well, it doesn't matter what I've been through. I set the stage for it, and I determine who I am, this and that and the third. But it's just like, okay, yeah, but then you also got to realize that, you know, how you are is, you know, heavily related to who you were related to. You know what I mean? So, you know, I had to come to terms with that. But I never wanted to just admit that, like, dang, I got daddy issues, you know? But, like, sometimes when you just take the turn and you just be like, you know what? Yeah, and, okay, now what? I got daddy issues. And the now what is, I just confessed it, so now I deal with it. And that's really all you can ask of a person, you know? That's to me, that's really like the first step, and it's almost like it gets the movement going, you know? It gets you going in the right direction. And so I think, you know, that's a powerful step. So I'm gonna stop talking, and then, in fact, I'm gonna let y'all go, because now it's at the 2-hour and 16-minute mark. We've done 2 50-minute focused writing sessions. You should be very proud of yourself. Round of applause, girl. Okay, so if you stuck with me, you did 2 50-minute writing sessions. You took 2 movement breaks, okay, which is what we were just doing on the vibration plate. Whatever movement you want to do. As we progress in this in these live sessions, you'll see me dance. I'll dance. Sometimes I may dance without the sound on, because I don't want any copyright issues, but I'll still dance, and y'all can dance on y'all end to whatever music you're listening to, you know. So I'll line dance, and then, you know, y'all can line dance too to a different song, or whatever you want to do. And then I have a walking track here, so sometimes I walk and talk to y'all while we're on our movement break, or I may do a little working with my kettlebells or something like that, just kind of moving while we're just kind of talking about what we've accomplished, or what the last session did for us. So if y'all want to get in the comment section and let me know if this is helping you, how are you progressing through these live sessions, and then also make sure you like the video and share the video. I know y'all know somebody, okay, another daughter out there who is working on her book, who is working on her poetry, you know, and just trying to channel that pain that she experienced into something great, you know, whether it just be something for her, it's still something great, or something that you may want to eventually put out into the world. Either way it goes, just know that I'm here to support you, and I know that these live writing sessions are really going to transform your writing. They're already transforming mine, and I'm looking forward to wonderful things from y'all in 2026. Okay, this is the year of the daughter. Do y'all hear me? This is the moment we rise up and we walk in our daughterhood. You know what I mean? So anyways, I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. I will see y'all on the very next live writing session, Writing with Dolores. Tell the truth, daughter. Tell the truth, okay? I love you, and remember, you are important to me. I need you to survive. Mwah! Bye-bye for now.